What is going on, yo? Robert Sykes, Keto Savage, KetoBodybuilding.com, and we are coming back at you with a building vlog update series. This is week 25, reset week 14. A couple changes. So my goal for last month, the month of September, was to hit 300 pounds on the bench, and I just attempted at the time of this recording on the 30th and missed it by a hair. I feel like I've gotten 295, but that 300 is just ever elusive for me. I'm kind of setting myself up for failure in a sense, in that I am dropping my calories right now. In a perfect world, I would not be going for PRs while simultaneously reducing my weight and caloric intake. But that just kind of is what it is. I feel like everything is getting stronger, just not necessarily in the top realm PR single rep max standpoint. So there is that from an unfortunate standpoint. As far as the reset macros go, as far as the building goes, let's dive into the chronometer dashboard here for a second. I'll show you what the numbers looking like, what the data is looking like, and then I'm going to kind of talk about strategy. So in the chronometer here, we've got about 8.2 pounds down in total. If I go to trends and then I go to charts, you can see kind of that gradual drop in calories. Let's just go from a longer standpoint here. We'll do 8 weeks. So you can see things are kind of trending down. We're at 3,000 calories here, had a couple refeed days, and now we're just gradually dipping lower and lower. If we go to my AI dashboard here, we'll add a check-in for today. Today is the 30th, and my weight today, let's just see what we're looking like here. Weight today was 190.6. And according to the Inbody, I was 18.8. The Inbody actually had me at 189.9. My macros this week are targeting about 175 fat and 215 protein, 20 grams of total carbs, which is going to put my total caloric intake right at about 2,500 calories. Again, if we're looking at the overall trend lines here, we can see my weight has dropped quite a bit. I hit 200 at my highest, somewhere in there, and then definitely on the downward trend from that point. Overall calories, you can see, are also trending down. So when it comes to this reset phase, just from a high level view, on a macro level, I'm definitely in a building phase for the next several years. I competed last year, 2023, obviously, took my calories down, body fat down, body weight down, and then 20-week reverse period. And then I bulked up to 200 pounds, which was good from a strength standpoint. It was good from a hunger and satiety standpoint, but good from a hormonal standpoint, good from a metabolic standpoint. But that was just too much weight for me to carry, hence the reason for me kind of cleaning things up a little bit. And as I went into this reset phase, I said, okay, I am in a building phase. So as I go through this reset, I want to watch out for 3 primary things that I do not want to dip below. I don't want to dip below 175 pounds. I don't want to dip below 2,500 calories, and I don't want to dip below 12% body fat. Realistically, on a body fat standpoint, I'm probably about 16 or 17% right now. The Inbody fluctuates quite a bit based off of fluid levels, but knowing my composition, I'm probably around 16 or 17%, so I'm not exceeding that 12%. I'm still about 190 pounds, so I'm definitely not breaking that 175. But here I am at 2,515 calories, and I'm getting pretty close to that floor of which I had set for myself of not going below 2,500 calories. So I am kind of in a rock and hard spot because I need to lose a little bit more weight. Realistically, from a strategy standpoint, it's not conducive for me to drop my calories further if my primary goal is to build muscle, which is the primary goal of a building phase. However, acutely speaking, I need to drop another 10 pounds or so in preparation for hunting season. I had hoped to already be a little bit closer to that weight going into October, but I am not. I'm still at 190 pounds. So 10 pounds down from 200, but 10 pounds shy of that 180 goal. So I'm probably going to break one of my rules and go a little bit below that 2,500 calorie point over the next month, because I'm going to be going out to Colorado in about a month, actually about 3 weeks, pursuing elk in the mountains. Last time I went elk hunting, I put in about 60 miles over the course of 5 days, all while carrying heavy packs, rifle, gear, several layers of clothes. That was an unsuccessful hunt, so I didn't have to pack out elk, but if it were a successful hunt, I would also have to add several pounds worth of elk quarters to that pack as well. And if I can cut 10 pounds, that would be more conducive. Plus, I'd honestly be a better hunter. I would be able to, operate at elevation in pursuit of elk more efficiently, and I wouldn't be as winded going into making a shot on an animal at, potentially distances up to 500 yards. So for the sake of doing right by the game I am pursuing, I feel like I should put in a little bit more work, get in a little bit better shape prior to going on that hunt. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to willingly sacrifice some lean mass potential in hopes of losing a little bit more to be a better hunter for that hunt coming up in Colorado. This is kind of one of those situations where I am not going to be the best bodybuilder I can be in order to pursue something that I also have a passion for, and that's just the reality of all of our lives at some point or another. So this is the chapter in my life where that is the case. Realistically speaking, the food that I hunt, the animals that I hunt and pursue and harvest is where a significant portion of my annual food supply comes from. We've got 3 chest freezers. I've got it full of the animals we've raised. I've got 3 lamb in one. I've got pork. I've got beef. I've got chicken. I've got venison from the deer I killed last year, but I do not have any elk. So I'm trying to add some elk to that freezer and hopefully pad our food supply and also cut down on my grocery bill going into next year. So all of that, in my mind, makes it worthwhile to sacrifice a little bit of lean mass potential for the next month or 6 weeks in hopes of being a better hunter and improving my odds of filling that freezer space. Because at the end of the day, if I am successful in that hunt, I have a ton of meat that is the highest quality meat at my disposal, which will then fuel my muscle building potential. So I'm taking one step back now in order to take multiple steps forward going forward, from a financial standpoint, the cost of groceries, and also from a nutrient density standpoint with the quality of the food that I hope to acquire in this hunt. So that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Over the next 4 to 6 weeks, I will be dropping my calories a little bit below that 2,500. I'm not sure how low I'm willing to go. I definitely don't anticipate going below 2,000 calories. Like, if I go below 2,000 calories, I'm most definitely in a cut at that point, and that I can't warrant that much of a sacrifice to lean mass gain for hunting. So I will not drop below that. I don't think I'll have to get very close to that at all, but that is a hard floor for me. So over the next several weeks, I will be dropping calories a little bit more. I have noticed that in the past several weeks, I've been dropping my fat, increasing my protein, and I have noticed that has definitely hindered my overall satiety. People that say protein is the most satiating macronutrient, there is some truth to that, but like there's a nuance to that as well. Like, if you don't have ample dietary fat coming in, you're not going to feel nearly as satiated for near as long. So I've found myself craving more fat. So I'm kind of playing a little bit around with my macros. I'm simplifying my intake. My intake's always pretty simple. But Chip, one of my employees, he started raising chickens, so he's got a whole bunch of eggs at his disposal now. How many chickens you got, Chip?
17.
He's got 17 chickens, and you're producing how many eggs a day, roughly? 12. So he's got a lot of eggs coming in, and he just found out that eggs is what's causing more issues with his psoriasis, so he's basically just giving me all his eggs. So I'm eating about 18 eggs a day right now, clearly not worried about cholesterol. So I'm having 1 brick a day, my 2 fatty coffees, and about 18 eggs, which is a little bit higher in fat, a little bit lower in protein, but that's just kind of what I've been doing here lately to simplify things and make use of the food that I've got coming in. So I'm going to see how my body responds to that. But again, not planning on dipping too much lower on the calories, but enough to get down a little bit closer to that 180 mark. And realistically, I know that I've put on quite a bit of muscle since the prep. I know that my frame is now carrying more lean tissue than it was at the onset of the prep last year. I started last prep at 182 pounds. So if I get down to, 182 pounds, 185 pounds realistically. Now I know that I'll be at a better composition than I was starting that last prep. And what I would like to do is get to that weight and then probably bump my calories back up to about 3,000, which is pretty much my caloric maintenance intake. And then pretty much just hold steady there for a bit, let my weight stabilize at that 180 to 185, and then eat 3,000 calories, focus on building lean tissue and all that good stuff. But for the next several weeks, I'm going to be focusing more on optimizing my ability as a hunter. So probably do a little bit more cardio in the form of trail running, steep grade, technical terrain, and just kind of improve my footing and overall strength and mobility in my ankles in preparation for hunting in the mountains. So that's kind of what I've got going on there. So kind of a sport within a sport situation in which I'm optimizing for the hunting during this acute chapter in life. But this is one of the things that makes me a balanced athlete. I'm not doing just a single thing, but I'm also trying to be the best hunter I could be. So kind of one of those situations. But that's a review on what I'm looking like going forward, what my macros are like, and where things are. Here are some shots from today. Composition-wise, you can kind of see that I am trimming up a little bit, definitely more so than I was at 200 pounds. But that's where things are looking like now. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you next week.